All right, what's going on? Good morning to the MPI Nation. We are going to get ready to reveal the college football playoffs. All the games have been accounted for. So I'm going to give y'all another look at the bracket. This is what the bracket looked like before the week started. And as you see, some of the seedings has changed because of the results of those games. So as you see, right now it's showing that Cal's going to be the 1 seed, Cincinnati's going to be the 2 seed, TCU will be the 3rd seed, and Texas Tech will be the 4th seed. So that'll likely be the quarterfinals. Now, movement is going to probably happen with the rest of this bracket, as you will see right here. So some of it changed in comparison to what the weekend first started out to be, but we're going to get a chance to see a little more in a moment. But this is what the bracket looked like before. So once again, entering the weekend, FIU was number 12, matched up against number 10 Texas Tech. So Texas Tech is going to have the win, so they'll likely drop out of this spot, and this could possibly be Louisville in this position because Louisville won the Big 12. They beat Kentucky 24-21. They actually won the last 2 games against Kentucky to end the regular season and to win the conference. Arizona was going into the American title game with a chance to stay into the playoff race, so they could be the ones to suffer at this moment because of a loss. So there's going to be some movement that's going to happen one way or another. We just got to see if both teams are going to be out or is one team going to be out. So pay attention to what may happen. Somebody might move up into a spot because I don't know if both teams are going to survive losing them games once we get to the advance. Because as I mentioned, Louisville is going to move into one of those final 2 spots. So one of these 2 teams between Arizona and FIU may be eliminated from the college football playoffs due to the conference title game. We're not sure who's going to be. We'll find out though. But this is what the bracket looked like going into the weekend. There's not a lot of craziness that happened as in the previous years. Cincinnati did win their game. They'll be in the college football playoffs. So Cal, Cincinnati, Texas Tech, TCU, Louisville, and Iowa State are your conference champion winners. So the bracket's going to possibly change as far as the seeding. We don't know what's going to happen on the back end of this bracket. But one thing that I will bring up to this stream is going to be this. Michigan State and West Virginia are into the playoffs. They didn't have to worry about the conference title game. They both only lost 1 game. So that was all they needed to do. They were 2 of the at-large teams, and then the rest of the teams are basically the teams that are coming in from losing the conference title. So like Kentucky and Boston College, they'll both be hosting the first round game once the final bracket is set up. But it's the back half of the bracket where we don't really know what's going to happen yet. So a lot of these teams are in win or lose the conference title game, but we're going to get to finally revealing the bracket. But before I do that, I got one comment. Tev checking in said GT will be back next season. Hey, okay. I hear you. We're going to hold you to that. But okay. Moment we've been waiting on. Let's go ahead and advance. So as we get ready to advance, let's see. They'll probably put up the yearly award winners too. We got Grell checking in. The Big Ten winner said no, they won't. And Katie said good luck to him. Okay, hey, ignore that, man. I had a couple recruits. Hold on now. Ignore that. I had a couple recruits come in. So now see, this is what I was talking about before. It just went to a bye, so I gotta advance twice. This is the weird stuff that college the game be on. Let me make sure that those games got scheduled before I push. Yeah, it's just on Okay, yeah. I had to make sure. My bad, KD. My bad, brother. Okay, now we can finally get to what we're waiting on. I don't know why they showed that. Okay, let's get past all the Syracuse stuff. Heisman Trophy winner. When did it come on the screen? Is Josiah Trotter, the linebacker from West Virginia. He had 32 sacks. Good Lord. So congratulations, Ant. You got your linebacker turned into the Heisman Trophy winner. Okay. Wait on it to come up on the screen. Shout out to my boy Malachi James. He won best running back in the country. I will reveal all the yearly awards too as we get closer to everything being done. My bowl game will come up, but we're not worried about my bowl game. So let's get ready to get to the moment we've been waiting on. We're waiting to come on the screen. Tail said 32 cents. I know, he went crazy. All right, here we go. And making the college football playoffs. Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. So, here's your bracket. The number 1 seed is Cal. The number 2 seed is TCU. The number 3 seed is Cincinnati. And the 4 seed is Louisville. So as I mentioned before, Louisville, who was the team that won their game, jumped up in the rankings. We'll find out what the final rankings ended up being. That's Dejan. I know that's shocking. But see, this was what happened. It was the best at-large team that was left because FIU lost and Arizona lost. So now, moving into the first round matchup is West Virginia at hosting Colorado in the first round. The second game is the defending national champions, Boston College, going up against Utah in the first round. At number 7, you got Dez in the Michigan State Spartans hosting the SEC winners, Texas Tech. And in the other matchup, you got DeAndre in the Kentucky Wildcats taking on the Iowa State Cyclones at home. I know. But I know it's controversial right now. How did he make it? Well, here's the question. This is what happened. We'll see what the bracket shows, but I'm going to tell you what I think probably happened here. So entering last week, Louisville was 13, FIU was 12, Arizona was 11. Those two lost, so I'm not sure what the committee dropped them to be once we advance. But we're gonna find out. We'll find out where did they drop to. So this lets you know that basically SMU was another team that could have been in that spot of that last seed for number 12. So yeah, that's what Katie just said. Free SMU. Yeah, I'm actually shocked that Colorado got the bid over SMU because SMU had a better overall record. But we'll go to the top 25 rankings and find out what happened. Let's go to the top 25. It absolutely is. They got robbed. They absolutely got robbed. They only lost. They technically didn't even lose that game. They lost a fair sim. So yeah, this is a little controversial right now. But here's the official bracket. The number one ranking was West Virginia, but they're 5th because they didn't win the conference. So this is not just issue in the game. This is actual college football, real life. They didn't win their conference, so they finished number 3 in the conference, even though they were number 1 overall. But that's why they're the 5th seed in the bracket. Number 2 is Cal. Cal's the number 1 seed in the bracket because they actually won the Big Ten. But that's why they're number 2. They're number 2. They're number 2 in the rankings. But they're number 1 on the bracket because they were had the best record of conference championship winners outside of Iowa State. All right, moving to number 3, TCU, 11-2. I'm assuming it was the strength of scheduling that made them the number 2 seed in the bracket, so that's why they're where they are. They're going to be waiting on their matchup in the quarterfinals. At number 4 is going to be Cincinnati. They won the Pac-12, so they got the bye week. They're number 3 as far as the bracket per se. But the 5th team in the country is Boston College. As you know, they're 6th in the bracket because of West Virginia being number 1. So that's why they're in the 6-11 bracket at this moment. Moving on to the 6th team, you got Michigan State. Michigan State dropped because of the fact that both Kentucky and Boston College lost games, and they didn't go to the conference title game. So you had to put the conference title winner above the best at large. The only ones who didn't move was because West Virginia was number 1 in the country. But at number 7, you got Kentucky. They end up losing the Big 12. They are 8th in the bracket simply because of what I told you before. Number 1 is the 5th seed. Number 5 is the 6th seed. So that's why that played out that way. Now, Louisville is the last team with the bye week. They're the last team with the bye week as far as the playoffs. So this is what happens with that. Now, number 9. Now, this is controversial right here, low key. But I'm gonna also speak on this team right here. The undefeated Iowa State Cyclones are 13-0. They're number 9 seed. But if we all remember, Indiana was in the SEC. They've had to play in the first round both times in the first round. We're gonna be brutal. I'm gonna tell y'all what is starting to show in this game. You either A, have to play a tougher schedule, or B, you got to whoop up on the CPU, because that does play a factor in this rankings. Because truthfully speaking, an undefeated team should be the number 1 team in the country with no losses. Unfortunately, due to 2 things, that a conference, the American Conference, and those scores are starting to come into factor. I'm learning that in this game. That may be something that they fix in the next college football game, but that's what's really hurting Iowa State right now. Those are the 2 things that's hurting Iowa State. It is not a fault of theirs. It's a couple of things, to be honest with you. It's not a lot of people locking in that conference outside of them, in Arizona, who's been making it, and SMU that was in there this year. And then, of course, like I said, they're going up against the other Power 5 conferences. So hopefully that gets figured out throughout this run. But hey, they're in the college football playoffs, so seed don't matter at this stage. It's the best of the best at this point. Number 10, Texas Tech, who went 12-1, is number 10. So they didn't move from where they were to begin with entering the game. The only thing that changed, they dropped out of having to bye going on the road simply because Louisville had a bigger win over Kentucky than their win against FIU. They were already higher ranked. So that's the reason that this is happening. Now, for the last 2 seeds, let's go down. Number 11, Utah. Now, Utah was still going to make the playoffs. They entered the conference championship weekend with the best. They were already had 1 loss. So anybody that played that entered the playoffs with 1 loss, that lost in the conference title weekend, you will not get penalized for that. You may drop to a lower seed, but you won't get penalized for that. Now, the last seed is the controversial, and we've always had some controversy in this league. We've also had some controversy in this league. Now, this right here is a very big shocker. Colorado at number 12. To be brutally honest, I don't know what the committee did right here. I really don't. Because when you look at the remaining teams between 12 and 15, SMU should have had that last spot. Now, Arizona was going to drop because they lost to UTSA. Excuse me, they lost to Iowa State. So was Florida International. They were going to drop because they lost in the conference title. They were already fringe playoff teams, but then they lost. That's the crazy thing. I think that he had 1 or 2 user games that he had to play. So it's weird. It's weird. It's a dumb. It's dumb altogether. So it's stupid. But truthfully speaking, this is where one of those things where the college football playoffs are going to have to figure this thing out for college football 26. Because truthfully speaking, the 16th seed SMU should be the team that's the number 12 seed. We understood why Arizona and FIU wasn't in. We got that. We definitely got that. But as you see the rest of the bracket, Nebraska was number 13. Arizona was number 14. This is just the rest of the top 25 for the rankings. Number 15 was Florida International. Let's see. Number 16. This is the biggest robbery of this bracket right here. SMU didn't even lose. The crazy thing about it, they lost a fair sale and they were dropped to 16. That's the crazy thing about it. But some things gonna be switched up again this offseason. It's still weird. Basically, it's still weird. But as you see with the rest of this bracket, Virginia Tech 17, Indiana 18, Mississippi State 19, Boise State dropped to 20th after their loss in the Big Ten title game. And we're gonna go to the bottom half of this bracket with the last 5 teams in there. You got number 22 Auburn, who is sitting there. Congratulations, they made it to the top 25. And then you got number 25 Georgia Tech that entered in at 7-5. They're going to be playing Morris in the bowl game if they can get that game played. So they got a user bowl game matchup. But let's get to the yearly awards. Let me go back. I want to go back and look at the bracket real quick because I'm going to put in the chat the game of the week that y'all want to pick, because whatever game y'all choose, I'm gonna call it. I get with them. By the way, for the teams that's in the playoffs, you have until Monday night to play your game. Give me a second. I'm putting all the games on a poll, so just get ready to vote for those games. One second, guys. Okay. So I put the game of the week in the chat. Y'all vote on it. And whichever of the 4 playoff games it is. Okay, Justin put his vote in for Utah versus Boston College as the game. Okay, yeah, I'm intrigued to see that matchup as well. So that could potentially be the one that everybody vote for. KD versus Justin Gammage. We'll see. But I know those two don't mind being on the prime time stage. But let's go to the award winners. Okay, I want to see Colorado versus West Virginia. Hey, man, I want to see Okay, so player of the year, Josiah Trotter. Look at all these West Virginia and Cincinnati players that was in this race. It's crazy. They ran up on the computer, though. Let's see. Head coach of the year. Now, this is actually sick. This is actually very, very sick. Head coach of the year is going to go to Nick Green. How y'all get that man head coach of the year, but y'all don't want to give him a bye week going undefeated? That's kind of insane. But that's for another day. Best quarterback is Deshaun Cross of West Virginia. Like I said, he the only reason he didn't win the Heisman is because Josiah Trotter had 32 sacks. Best defensive player, I'm pretty sure y'all know who it is without me putting it up, but I'm still gonna put it up just because it's the right thing to do. It's gonna be West Virginia's Josiah Trotter. Best defensive back is Daniel James from Cincinnati. Let's see, best running back. Shout out to my boy Malachi James. Congratulations on winning best running back. Everybody that seen me play, though, I'll be cooking with that, man. Let's go to best wide receiver. It's Kel Woodburn, the wide receiver out of Cincinnati. He won best wide receiver. Okay, the Lombardi Award. This is to the best defensive lineman of the year. Goes to Boston College. Lewis Cummins, the sophomore out of Boston College, is the winner of the Lombardi Award. United's Golden Arm Award is the winner isn't nobody that. So this is what's gonna happen. The main winner wasn't even a user, so I'm gonna give the plus 2 or plus 4. I can't remember which one I got it as, to Kevin Jennings, the quarterback out of SMU. So SMU, you will get that award because that's the best user on the board. Now, best defensive end. It's going to also go to Lewis Cummins, the sophomore out of Boston College. That guy there is crazy, man. He had a big game in that Pac-12 title game, too. Best interior lineman. It's going to go to Xavier Chaplin, the center from Virginia Tech. So, LC, I know you probably I'll be in touch with you. I know you're probably not watching this show, but I'll definitely let you know that you got an award. But to the best tight end, it's going to be Hudson Clement, the senior from West Virginia. The Broyles Award for the best defensive coordinator or best assistant coach, excuse me, in college football is Jimmy Walker from Iowa State. So that's another additional +2, Nick, if you're still tuned in. Best linebacker, I'm pretty sure we're going to know who's best linebacker. That is going to be Josiah Trotter for West Virginia. Okay, let's go to the best center. I'm sure we know that award too because he won the best lineman as well. It's going to be Xavier Chaplin, the senior center from Virginia Tech. The Lou Groza Award. Exactly. Same thing. The literal same thing. You won a lot of them awards. They had to go on the road. That's kind of crazy. The best kicker is Iowa State's Kyle Conradi from Iowa State. Best punter, we don't care about that. But if you do want to give the award to somebody, I'll let it come up on the screen and claim the +2. It'll be Shane. His punter, Will Carroll, got is number 9 in the race. Last but not least, best returner. And I'm not surprised with this guy because I think he won it last year. Is Nate Johnson, the senior from Boston College. I think this is back-to-back returner award. I think he's leaving to go to the pros this year. So what a way this man got back-to-back, I think, best returner of the year awards. Let's go to the All-American race. By the way, you need to be getting your list together, everyone, because these points do go to your upcoming freshman, your current freshman, or sophomore. If you do not put them in by the time we get to the end of the national championship game, this no longer shows up, and those points will not count. So do not come to me at preseason, season 4, talking about I got a plus 60. You don't have no proof of it. So make sure you write your stuff down. But as far as the first team All-American, no debate. We know that Deshaun Cross is the quarterback, won the quarterback award. The 2 running backs are Malachi James and Corey Smith. So Dez, that I cannot remember. It's check the pin messages. I'll make sure to go back and find it because I don't know what I put as the plus for All-American. The wide receivers for the first team is Cal Woodburn, Paul George, not the NBA player, and Nick Harper. So those are the 3 that won wide receiver. The best tight end was Michael Massari. He actually had a pretty good second half in that Pac-12 title game. As far as the offensive line, you got Stanton Ramil, the junior from Michigan State. You got Wendell Moore Jr., the left guard from Arizona. Of course, Xavier Chaplin, the center from Virginia Tech, he won. Okay, let's get to the right tackle. Right tackle went to Rustin Young, another offensive lineman from Michigan State. So he won the right tackle. Let's see as far as the defensive side of the ball. Logan Fano, the defensive end from Utah, won the award. At defensive tackle, you got Marcus Deal, the defensive tackle at TCU. He won first team All-American. Of course, Josiah Trotter is not even a question. He won the linebacker. At right side linebacker, West Virginia's Trey Lathan also won the first team All-American. Oh man. So my freshman free safety, Fidel Lucky, he won All-American for the first team. That's kind of crazy. I'm sure you're probably freshman All-American too. RJ Johnson for Colorado is the first team All-American. And then for the kicker and punters, Matt Fletcher from Cincinnati and the kicker from Virginia Tech. So second team All-American. You got Terrence Lloyd, the quarterback from Cincinnati. Congratulations to him. There's also another Cincinnati player at running back is Manny Covey. He's the second team All-American. As for the wide receivers, shout out to Zachariah Branch. You got Kyson Anderson from Louisville, and you got Brandon White from Kentucky. Those are the 3 second team All-American winners. At tight end, you got Hudson Clement. He won the best tight end last year. And he followed up winning the second team All-American this year. You got Caleb Lamu, the left tackle from Utah. Congratulations to him. You got Virginia Tech's senior left guard, Braylon Moore. He won second team All-American. Okay, right guard from Indiana, Bray Lynch, the senior right guard. He won second team All-American. And then you got, we get into the defense now. So first up, you got Cameron James, the junior defensive end from Florida. You got defensive tackle Cam Franklin. He's a sophomore redshirt from Florida International. Congratulations to him. Moving along, you got Jared Smith, the sophomore linebacker from Kentucky. And then as you get to the right side linebacker, you got J.R. Johnson, the junior right side linebacker from West Virginia, And then that's in the secondary, you got Gentry Williams, the senior from Kentucky. You got Jeremiah Hughes, the senior from Michigan State. Also at strong safety, you got Marlon Westerman, the sophomore 5-star safety. Congratulations to him. And for the freshman All-American, now you're going to see some names that you are familiar with in this freshman race. First person is Parker Glenn, the quarterback from Boston College. You'll see him in the first round for Boston College. He's going to try to keep the tradition up over there and get another daddy. The running back from Mississippi State, Eric Tuttle, won freshman All-American. You got Alex Lake, who's also a freshman All-American. So Boston College racking up. Those freshmen really came to play for Boston College this year. You got Hemeka, you like her, Drew Lahu. Hey man, don't laugh at me for saying mess these names up. The name's wrong, I'll just mess them up. But he also, he's also the freshman All-American. You got Warren Moon, the freshman All-American from Texas Tech. Let's see. We're going to move on to left guard. You got Zach McLaughlin. He's the left guard for Auburn. Congratulations to him. Moving into the defensive side of the ball, you got Dakota Coates. He won left end for Cincinnati. At defensive tackle, you got Jordan Amerson. Petey said that McLaughlin's a white last name. I'm trying to tell you. It is truly. Okay, and in the secondary, we got several names. We got from linebacker to secondary. You got Marvin Bellinger, the linebacker from Virginia Tech. You got Johnny Dunbar, the middle linebacker from Kentucky. You got Terry Blevins, the right side linebacker from Kentucky. You got Ben Swain, who is the freshman corner from TCU. You got Joe Akers, who is the freshman corner from Auburn. You got Fano Lucky, the freshman from Syracuse. And then you got West Virginia's kicker and punter. So, again, check the chat. I will make sure to go in the chat and update what's the plus for that. I know I have it in the chat, but I will share it again for as far as the pin name. But we got two more things I want to hit before we get off the stream, and that is the bowl matchups and then the top rankings as far as recruiting. So that's something to keep an eye on. You know, there's a incentive given out for recruiting. So wait to get it on the board before we get started. So the first user matchup we got, Arizona is going to the First Responder Bowl to play UTSA. Okay, moving along. At the Pop-Tarts Bowl, let it come up on the screen. You got Auburn. They would have played UCF, but unfortunately he has this was his last season in the league. The Liberty Bowl is going to have the team that we're all saying that really got robbed from making the college football playoffs. SMU is going to get a chance to go up against UConn. At the Holiday Bowl, you got Mississippi State taking on Houston. At the Texas Bowl, we have this is one of our user matchups. We got Florida International going up against Kansas. I don't know if they're going to get a chance to hoop this time around, but that is a matchup that's taking place. The Alamo Bowl has another user matchup. I know Buddy will be excited about this one. This is his third straight bowl matchup against a user. It's going to be Boise State against Virginia Tech. Y'all will get a chance to get the grace of playing when your time is to play, of course. Let me see. What's the next user matchup? I'm looking. Okay, at the Frisco Bowl, we got Missouri. I'm going to let it come up on the screen. We got Missouri against Oklahoma State in the Frisco Bowl. I think this can be played this week. You'll have to all load up and check and see. But I cannot remember. Let's get on to the bottom half of this board. looking to see if there's any other first round matchups. Okay, I play against North Texas. I'm going to keep scrolling past me. Oh, at the ReliaQuest Bowl, we have another user matchup. You got Georgia Tech against Florida. So Morris against Tev is a first round, is a bowl game matchup. At the Citrus Bowl, you got Justin Brown and the Indiana Hoosiers going against against Texas State. Okay, that's where the bye is at. And then the last matchup is Nebraska and Ohio State. That's the last matchup that's on the board. So those are the bowl game matchups for the teams that made the bowl. But last but not least, we're gonna go see if they let me pull up the recruiting. Okay, they do got early signing day. Okay, so just to give y'all a update of what the rankings are looking like now. So of course, still at number 1 is TCU. They are right now bringing a record 22 4-stars on that squad. But this race is close because Boston College is sitting at number 2 in the college football recruiting. I don't know. This is going to be a close finish because as you see, they are literally less than a point difference between who's going to be the number 1 and number 2 class. But not so fast. At number 3, you got Georgia Tech making a push at the top 20. At the top class again. That's the other thing that's taking place. Okay, at number 4, you got West Virginia, who's also in the college football playoffs. They've had a really good recruiting run. They got the second most 5-stars in the recruiting race at the moment. Coming in at number 5 overall in recruiting is the SMU Mustangs. As you see, they're in the top 5, which is really good. They've had a good year over there in that program got robbed of a chance at being in the college football playoffs, unfortunately. But guess what? They're got a really good recruiting. They are really doing a really good recruiting race. At the number 6 class as far as the top 10, but number 7 in recruiting is Kentucky. Kentucky has 19 4-stars. They're doing a pretty good job as they normally do. They've always been around the top 2 to 1, but this year they had a lot of competition as far as the best recruiting classes. The 7th best recruiting class right now is Michigan State. They're number 8 overall, but as you see, they've put together a really good class. They got 19 4-stars and 3 3-stars. So doing a really good job. There's a lot of really solid recruiting going on this year. Coming in as the 8th recruiting class is Iowa State. They've had this is their best year of recruiting, truthfully. And they threaten the coaching staff, and then they end up having a great recruiting class. Funny how that works. But they are number 8. So moving on to the 9th class. So Florida is the 9th class user, but the 12th overall class. As you see, they're starting to lure those recruits in as well. And rounding out the top 10 is Virginia Tech at number 14. They got the 14th best recruiting class and the 10th best in the league. So of course, this isn't finalized. We still got the playoffs to get past. We still got the transfer portal. Still a lot of time left to really catch up. But hey, it's gonna be fun to see how this thing finishes out for everyone. But let's see, we round out the top 25. You got Indiana at 19, and then you'll see me scroll and show Tulane at 24 before I come out of this. But we're about to wrap it up now and go back and show the bracket one last time. This is your bracket. Hold on, let it come on the screen. This is your official college football playoff bracket. Good luck to the teams. All games. If all 4 playoff games are played before Monday night, we're going to be pushing earlier. But you have till Monday night to run these games. So good luck. Please play these games. Get your games out of the way, man. I want to hear nothing about nobody getting robbed of a trip to a national championship. All you got to do is load up and play. Make the time, guys. There's only 12 teams left. Let's see who's going to win this thing. But hey, last thing. Everybody that's still watching, send me your national championship matchup and send me your national championship winner. If you are the most accurate left, there will be a special incentive to a freshman. Last thing I have to say on that. On that note, this has been your college football ranking show. Good luck to the teams in the playoffs. And good luck to everybody else this offseason.